with the first question. Who's gonna be that brave soul today? Ah, see, Karen, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Okay, I just unmuted.
Awesome.
Well, obviously, pricing is the first concern
Mm-hmm.
because I'm kind of starting out, don't have a lot of sales, don't have a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
going into it. So, and I've invested a ton of money already just in products
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And my art is more of a utilitarian type of thing. I do lazy Susans and charcuterie boards.
Oh, awesome.
So that's probably something that wouldn't be printed, like to make a print or
Yeah.
anything or
Yeah. Yeah.
merch. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but from my point, at this point, I don't think that would be something
Can I ask you
that.
just selfishly something for me? When was the heyday of Lazy Susans, and are they making a comeback? Because I quite frankly love them.
You know what? I love my lazy Susan.
Yes, they're great for
I think
groups.
I think they're like kind of from the 50s or whatever, but they and sometimes you have to kind of explain what they're for.
Yeah.
But people love them once they have one. I don't know how you could not have one
I no,
in
especially if
on
you
your
have
dining room table.
a big group. For some reason, I've seen a lot of them in Mexico on like resorts recently. I wonder if it's having a resurgence in Mexico.
Maybe
But
it's having. I hope it's having a comeback because I would like to sell more of them.
yeah, because you've got a ton of inventory. How have you gone about selling your things up till now? Are you doing local shows and fairs and such?
Yeah, I'm doing art fairs and wine festivals and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. I have a really, I'm going to email it to you automatically. It's already in the email. But I have a really, really like crazy in-depth tactical guide on what to do, some of the best techniques and tactics when you approach an in-person Thayer show. Just definitely want you to read that for later.
okay.
Yeah, hugely, hugely important. Are you doing any marketing in addition to that? Anything on the socials or
Um,
an email list or email in the email list?
I actually just hired like a little part-time girl helping me to do social media.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very good at social media, and I'm not. I watch YouTube all the YouTubes all the time, but I'm not very good at doing any of that. So it, yeah, I don't have a lot of marketing skills or marketing techniques to. I do I do put most of my stuff on Facebook or Instagram, and
Good.
but that's about it.
Yeah, we all say social media, and you know, I'm supposed to be a digital social media marketing expert. I hate social media. I don't post anything personally ever under any circumstances because I despise it. But I'm contrarian
Yeah.
enough to say it's less about social media and more about this. Everybody is walking around with this 24 hours a day, looking at it all day
Right.
long, and we have the ability through those social media platforms to get the product in front of eyeballs, right? Um, Back to your original question. What were you asking? Sorry, I'm turning my lights on. Usually I don't do it because it fries my brain. But oh, you were asking pricing. Yeah, how we go about how we charge. So if you were there for the whole presentation, and I think you were driving for the beginning of it, right? I thought I saw you driving.
I was
Yeah, yeah,
driving. I was
yeah,
trying to get back to my shop
yeah. Technology,
before it started, but I didn't make it because of traffic going over there. So I had to.
yeah, technology is
Anyway,
amazing.
yeah, I was driving, but I did see
You heard,
most of it. I stopped for a little while.
yeah, you heard most of it. So you know
Hmm.
the way our business has sort of evolved over the years is all about, like, if we don't have successful happy customers, we're out of business. And a website alone, you're out of business, right? Like in the presentation, when I show all like the negative reviews for our competitors, it's not a knock on the competitors. Okay, there's great competitors out there. It's we're all artists and photographers struggle, creatives. There's no blanket term that describes all you guys. I'm always struggling with the names. um, is if you don't have the support system after the fact, if you don't have someone in your corner, if you don't have someone encouraging you, if you don't have someone teaching you week in, week out, the mass say you'll come off the gas on the marketing, and the mass say that you won't promote as actively and you won't be growing because you have no time to do all the stuff. It's just too many balls in the air. So why do I bring that up? I bring that up under the context of that's what sets us apart from everyone else. That's why we're more expensive than everyone else. It has nothing to do with like, us trying to charge a bunch of money. I mean, of all the niches in the world, like there's a reason that the primary objective in front of artists is starving, right? So it's 100% we charge what we charge just based on you need the support system after the fact. I know if you get that support system after the fact, and that support system never goes away, and all the different stripes that we have, then you'll be in a good spot. And so we charge a monthly fee like any website company, and then we charge a one-time fee for the lifetime of support that you have, that will go into everything. And we have sort of a range of different plans. Our monthly website fees are competitive, and then I believe our lowest plan is like something like $1,500 the one time to get in. But it sounds like a lot of money, but try hiring a marketing consultant, right? Or you're
Oh,
hiring the social
yeah.
media girl, and then see how consistent she stays and how much she actually knows about marketing your products, right? And then you're having to invest the time, energy, and effort to teach her, and then she leaves, right? Because she got a better job or college came or whatever the case may be. And we see that time and time again. It's like, you need a marketing consultant, you need the encouragement, you need the group, you need all of these things. And while we get beat up sometimes on our prices, like what we charge, it's like, you guys are all paying these costs anyway. You're paying it with your time. You're paying it searching forums. You're paying it with these people that you hire. You're paying it bad advertising decisions. You're paying it going into marketing initiatives without the right and proper tactics. And you don't ever get that time back. You never get that time back. Have you seen a demo yet?
No.
No. Yeah. It's
Well, no,
no.
I really
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah. You have it. It's worth the investment in time because we have so many different like bells and whistles and moving parts and services and this things you can put on and put off. That it's worth just getting an understanding if it feels like and looks like the right solution for you, and if it's affordable and all that. But I do believe as we continue to evolve at a macro, our product, well, not perfect, no product is like the fact. I just know because I've been doing this for 10 years now, like the number one thing that differentiates a successful and the not is staying consistent. Like I said in my presentation, that's it. How is that going to happen? Are you going to do it all your own? Are you going to learn all that stuff? Or are you going to have the support that's like keeping you there and doing it?
Okay. All right. Will you be sending us a price list so we can see what
Yeah, well,
it's going to be?
they don't send price lists. They get you on the phone. It's kind of the rub of how we do things. It's a little
Okay.
annoying, I know, but I
Okay.
promise you, it's worth the time to see it. It'll be like
Okay.
40 minutes to an hour custom Zoom that shows you all the bells, all the whistles, all the plans, all the pricing, and all of that.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. And then just out of curiosity, is your shop, does it have any retail component to it at all? Or is it?
It's more of a studio.
Mm-hmm.
I invite people to come
Mm-hmm.
to my studio, but it's not really retail.
Got it. Got it. Something to contemplate though. Even teaming up with an artist, like, one of the things I've been doing recently is, and there's not any other hands up that I'm aware of. Are there, Andrea, so I can show this? I don't think so. I want to show you this because I said in the presentation that I'm like really, really hyped currently on this notion of the artist-owned gallery in contrast to a gallery that you would get yourself in where you're doing a 50-50 revenue split and you don't know who's purchasing your work. And of course, I go to load the video up and I'm getting the little spinning wheel of death. So you have to just bear with me. But I've been in terms of the content of like that we put out as a brand at Art Storefronts, we have 14,000 customers now. So one of the things that I've been doing recently is like grabbing these individual customers and their individual stories and then just kind of doing like a, off the cuff, not prepared, informal interview with them. And I did one just recently. Okay. And he's been a customer for a couple of years and, we know about him, but we haven't like gone into depth of what he did. And this was like the most fascinating interview I've done in quite some time. And so his name's John Lowry. I'm going to just play why I set it up and then we'll watch a little bit of it. So in between Austin and Houston, there's a town called Round Top, and the population is 91 people, but it has this big 3-day like antiques fair three times a year, something like that. So it's like starting to build in prominence. But what John has done is he's rented this like barn from the 1800s, which is part of this area, and he's showing the area down there on the bottom. I know it's kind of small, guys. You just have to bear with me. And what's amazing is he started in a small shop that was $300 a month. The rent on this one now is $3,000 a month, so quite a bit of a jump up, I know. But what he has in here, I mean, is just staggering. And he's built up his inventory, and it's all his own art, and it's all a bunch of different like merch items. He's got clothes. He's got all of his originals. He's got a bunch of different giclées, just this entire like range of items. And he's absolutely killing it, and he's doing so well. And so I see this as a trend, like, even if you kind of trying to just jump around the video, show you some of the stuff. I see this as like such an amazing trend that an artist can potentially own it all. Now I know there's the vicissitudes of having to work, and staff it and everything else. He's really lucky because in his instance, this place only has to stay open 4 days a week. But something to think about, because you could even partner up with somebody that handles the wall component of it, right? And then you have all your stuff in there. And I just really, really like it as a business model. So, oh, this thing's playing in the background. Let me get it up. So anyway, food for thought.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Karen. All right. Who else, guys? Questions, comments, concerns? Could be anything about anything. Or I can start teaching on some other stuff if needs be. Or Andrea, ask any questions you have. Sometimes folks just don't have questions, and that's totally okay. Oh, you have one.
I do have a question, but Richard has one first.
Oh, Richard. Okay. Oh, yeah, Richard's hands up. Thank you. Richard, you're up.
Okay. Start video. Okay. Uh-oh. Unable to start video.
Oh, I might. Yeah, sometimes I click these things. Hold on. I'm gonna.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, and you can start your video now. I just turned it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have several questions.
Sure.
About my situation. I have been a photographer from the film days.
Amazing.
And dark rooms and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been internationally published and exhibited and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But during the pandemic, the gallery that was representing me closed, and she put us during 2020. She put us up on artsy.net.
Yep.
And it turned out to be, and I've heard this from other gallery owners, too expensive and not a lot of sales.
Yeah.
Even though it's a prestigious site. So I live in New York City, so my space is limited.
Yeah.
I can't do my own store or gallery or whatever. What I've been trying to is look for more gallery representation, but this sounds I'm not sure where this will fit in with my work and me. I'm looking into putting my work up on Saatchi. But this seems, and correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry.
It's okay.
Is a way to update, modernize your website, and is this what?
Yes, yeah. It's not a marketplace like what you're thinking of is, a Saatchi or an Artsy or a Fine Art America or Redbubble or Etsy or any of the rest of them. The sad truth is that those work for such a tiny amount of people, and it makes sense, right? Like, the notion, oh, I can just put all my stuff up there and sales are going to happen. Like, we all wish it was that easy. It's not, sadly, right? Yeah. So our platform is, your website that you own, and we teach you how to drive it and how to market it and how to build your name and how to build your brand, and we don't ever stop doing that. So it is certainly a radically different approach than most folks are taking, because most artists and photographers, they don't even have direct commerce on their websites if they have a website, right? And let alone knowing what to do with it after it's all up and it's running and it's ready, which is where we come in.
And that's the position I'm in right now. I have no idea what to do with it,
Yeah.
how to, you know, um, and I guess I saw in one of the other emails that you guys sent me
Mm.
uh, was now uh, on your website, there should be interactive.
Yeah, I mean, like we have so many different bells and whistles that are awesome for selling art and photography, but none of them are a silver bullet, you know? Like, yeah, you need your work up on a website. It needs to be a minimalist, beautiful site that looks exactly like an art gallery does or a museum. By the way, you notice that everywhere art is displayed always looks the same. The world around doesn't matter what language it is, plain white walls, the art, minimalism, nothing else. And yet when everyone builds a website, there's colors and flashing stuff and moving stuff and fonts. It would be a damn miracle if you saw the art. So yes, it needs to be up on a site. Yes, it needs to be enabled for commerce. Yes, it's helpful to have the various different bells and whistles, but ultimately it's a business like anything else, right? Like you need to build it. You need to figure out how to get people to come to it. We teach you how to do that all year long. So again, that's the secret sauce of it all.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's funny. I heard so many of those stories during COVID, and it's, to be honest with you, it's what's made me, I, at a macro, I am extremely pro revenue source. Like if you are creative and you have a revenue source that's working, by all means cultivate it. But what COVID taught a great many of us is the folks that were just overly reliant on one, the folks that had all of their eggs in one basket, for a lack of a better term, all of a sudden, boom, it was off and they had nothing. They had no emails. They had no social media following. They'd never done any marketing. And as a result of it, the revenue sources just stopped. The sheer number of panicked and terrified creatives that I had coming onto these webinars during COVID going, what do I do? How do I get this started? Was staggering. And what it underscores is that it's not a zero-sum game. If you have one of these other things working that's providing revenue, fantastic, but it has to be in addition to and not in lieu of your own email list, your own website, and your own following that you're actively talking to and marketing to. And when you have that, doesn't matter what pandemic comes down the way next time. It doesn't matter if things have changed at the gallery or the gallerist goes out of business or whatever the case may be. You have another silo to your business that's continually growing, right? And it, guys, so important. And look, the paradigm forever was being a gallery. That was the dream. That was the goal. That was the amazing thing. But that's gone now. Like you don't need the gatekeepers, right? You don't need a 50% haircut. You don't need to not know who's collecting your work. And like the who is collecting your work is honestly fundamentally one of the most important things of this business because of the collector phenomenon. And I stole this, so I always give him credit. Hold on. It's written by Weiland. Weiland is the whale guy. Most people would say his business, I don't know, 60, 70, $80 million a year, something staggering out of control. He's got like 9 different galleries and, he gets paid to do murals and everything else. But he does a great job in that book, Don't Be a Starving Artist, and it's on Spotify for free if you guys are Spotify subscribers. I know that. You don't have to buy the book. Anyway, he sort of like highlights the collector phenomenon for him. And he defines a collector as someone that will purchase an upwards of 7+ pieces of art from him over the course of a career. And so he just keeps creating, they keep coming back, and they keep buying again and again and again. And he goes into like detail some of the marketing stuff that he's sending them Christmas cards, sometimes liking their social media posts, like literally going out of his way. But the point of it is that as you get on into your career, if you've been selling direct, if you know who's purchasing your work, and if you've been at least talking to them sometimes, sending emails occasionally, doing social media updates occasionally, then you have this ability to build a collector list. And I've seen some of my customers that have been doing this for like 10 or 15 years, and it's like particularly staggering in especially the artists, right? And the photographers too. It's like, you release a brand new series of work. You created 6 pieces, 10 pieces. You're going to show it off. You show it off to your collectors first, and 6 of them have sold before it even hits the public. And then you let everyone else know, and you're like, by the way, there's only 4 left. This notion, these collectors will keep coming back and buying again and again and again, which is why you need to know who's purchasing your work, right? And don't take that cynically like that only happens on our platform. Like, it's just reality. Like I find knowing who your customers are and building a collector list to sort of be the 401k of an art or photography or creative business, because they just keep coming back. That's a phenomenon of collectors. But okay, Andrea, go ahead. And thanks for the questions, Richard.
Okay. I had a meeting yesterday and I have a new sort of opportunity
Mhm.
that sort of really aligns with my 5-year plan and something that I've always wanted to do. But I tend to get overwhelmed when there's a new thing and I
Mhm.
don't know what tasks to do first and how to streamline stuff. So just kind of want your opinion on it's so preliminary right now. So I had a meeting with Expedia Cruises
Okay.
and we're talking about me being a teacher,
Mhm.
a photography teacher on kind of like for groups to join a cruise and then have a teacher teach them how to take photos and then go on excursions and do the work, which I'm really excited about.
That sounds super fun.
Um, how do I promote that? And, any sort of thoughts about what I should be looking for or doing? And
I mean,
it's a little
I
overwhelming.
like it, especially if it's a nice cruise line and the
Yep.
food is good. Let's tick that box. But yeah, that would be awesome. That would constitute another revenue source, and the promotion part
Yeah.
of it's really easy. The only difficult part is just getting the deal over the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like it. Where would the cruises start from and disembark to? Is it all just Pac Northwest Canada?
No, she talked about an African one that she would love me to do, but I don't know if the timing's going to work out for
Hmm.
that one. Definitely can start for Alaska because the cruise ship port is right in my town, so
Hmm.
I don't even have to travel to get there. So
Yeah,
might start with that one to keep it easy off the top. But I think, the sky's the limit with it. We could go anywhere.
for sure. And
And
there's a
then
ton of downtime on those things and good Wi-Fi, so it's not like you couldn't do your job the
yeah.
rest of the time. How do they find you?
Chamber of Commerce meeting. A friend
Nice.
of mine is in the chamber, and she told me to reach out to this person. And originally I thought they just wanted a travel agent,
Hmm.
and I think that's kind of what she thought too. But then she found I was a photographer, and we just sort of got, brainstorming about what that could mean, and we both ended up on the same page, which is exactly where I had hoped we would end up.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So, and she's talking about, using my database as well to pull in people.
absolutely.
So I'm thinking about starting to ask my audience, if you could take a class with me, what would you want to learn?
Oh, I
And
love
then
that. I love that.
where would you want to go? And then sort of like, and then do the big announcement, I'm going to be teaching classes on this cruise, that kind of thing. So build it. Does that kind of make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
And like, look, that one's very easy to say yes to and commit. Don't commit the rest of your life to it. Commit a year, see how it goes, and then if it drives you nuts, it drives you nuts.
Yeah, well, it's something I've been wanting to do myself, and I feel like this can build my credibility as a
For
teacher
sure.
and then build my audience out with their database following me after it, and then be able to eventually host my own, you know,
Yeah,
tours.
yeah. I love it.
So,
I love it.
yeah,
Never met a revenue source I don't like. Go, 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 go.
right. I'll probably be picking your brain more as we get more into the details of stuff. It's just so wide open right now, but I just was like, I, yeah, I'm sort of barfing it out right
Yeah,
now,
I
going, oh,
think I
yeah,
think
yep,
like especially on any deals like that, like not saying you, mind you, but more often than not, creatives like they get so wound up in it and they start contemplating all the what ifs and they introduce so much damn friction into the process that you make it hard on the other party. Your job is just to get the deal over the line. Just be, oh yeah, cool, we can do that. We can do that. We can do. Once they say yes, then you're in and then you can figure it out. And it almost never ends up being what you thought it was going to be originally. So just get in
yeah.
the door, right? Get it over the line. That's what I would say.
Okay, so stay open.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew. Okay, guys. Who else? Questions, comments? All right. Marion, I got you. Go ahead. And you'll need to unmute, Marion. It's a mic icon, bottom left-hand corner is usually where it's hiding. You just click on the microphone. Gotcha.
I'm sorry, I'm not very good at all this stuff.
Oh,
so
don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm trying to get more knowledge, but yeah, I followed up on an ad on Instagram or Facebook about check this out. It's a free sign up, free lifetime help, free, and when you went over the pricing, I guess I was concerned, or is that something I need to talk to? Someone contacted me about talking about your program, and we haven't gotten together for that. So those maybe would be questions for them. Things I contacted you through that kind of a coupon thing.
Yep. I know they offer specials from like a regular time where they include some things for free, but the whole thing is certainly not free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so yeah, I I have had a lot of sales in the past. When I was younger, I did all the shows and everything and built quite a bit of clientele and everything, and they supported.
Awesome.
But now I'm living in this real rural area. I'm from South Dakota, and miles are tons of miles in between people that really have money, and I pretty much have outlived my money people of where I live right now. And so I was trying to reach out to try to find, because I cannot do shows anymore.
Yeah.
My health does not allow it. I tried one here a couple years ago, and I ended up being back in the hotel room most of the time rather than at my booth because I was so sick. So
Yeah.
it just doesn't work for me anymore.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
at my age, it's getting too hard. So I was thinking this might be something I should definitely look into. So I appreciate all your help, and I will reach out again to that. Can't think of what his name was. Greg. His last name was Greg, I think. Matt Greg.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's our
Contacted me.
our resident Kiwi, so you'll know immediately it's him. It's thick
Okay,
thick
yeah,
Kiwi accent.
he's supposed to be reaching out to me. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because I always say, like, I love the in-person shows and fairs because you get that face-to-face contact, and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of really
Right.
great ways to do it. But look, life has seasons, and
Yeah,
you know,
and I miss that, and so I've just been trying to figure out somewhere I can, because if you keep just painting and it just keeps building up, and if you're at my age and you're looking at you sometime soon, you got to downsize to your place. What do you do with all of that kind of inventory?
Yes.
So because I can't go out to market it anymore in the shows and stuff, I'm going, how do I do have a website. I've changed my website carrier because I thought maybe that would help, because the other one I was kind of not doing anything. This one that I changed to has not sold anything, but I'm not really marketing through there much either. I do have a Facebook and Instagram, and I have used Facebook when I've done something new, and it usually sells right away. And I've had in-house, I work out of my home, so I have in-house studio shows that have been pretty helpful and
For sure.
and
For
good,
sure.
but
And you can do those digitally as well in today's day and age, right? Like, the technology is great at that. And so when you
yeah,
build
that's probably true. I never thought about that, but that would be a good thing to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. We teach on that quite extensively.
Okay.
They became a huge thing right when COVID hit, because, all of us were
Yeah.
at home all the time. So yeah, I just take Matt's call and he'll walk you through all of it, Marion, and help you
Yeah,
out with all of it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys. Is that it? Any further questions? Don't be shy if you have one. Doesn't matter to me. It could literally be about anything. I got to figure out my game plan to make it less terrifying to ask a question, because I think for some people it's like, oh, it's scary. I don't want to ask a question. I don't know what to do. Gonna send you the replay. Going to send you some resources in there. Highly recommend, if you guys listen to podcasts, for those of you that do, to subscribe to the Art Marketing Podcast. That's our podcast. Here, I'll share the screen because it'll make it a little bit easier to say. About to put this thing through a whole rebrand and really ramp up some of the content on it, but it's really, really good. We have over 500,000 downloads on this thing. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. And we've got a ton of really, really good customer interviews where we're focusing on our customers that are doing really, really well, and kind of deep diving on what their different revenue sources are and how they do things. So something to be aware of, something to keep an eye on. But other than that, you guys, thanks so much for the time today. Hope you got some value out of it, and hope to see you either on a future session or on the inside.